Hello, everybody. I'm Jay Lynn, and I'm real excited for today's episode. We're going to be doing things a little bit different, fresh off the world tour of the last episode, and we've done so much building lately. I'm coming into today with no plans to build, and it's actually quite relieving, to be honest. I'm looking forward for a nice, adventurous episode, and try to do a few things, work with some of the new mechanics that I've never really worked with before. I think it'd be kind of fun. After all these years of playing Minecraft, there's still so many things I haven't really messed around with, so I'm going to hit a few of those up today. And kind of the side mission for the day, though, is going to be just slowly gathering like my random chests and all that, and start filling these chests up a little bit, as well as I'm going to put a big map in the middle of the floor here. So probably... Actually, yeah, maybe we'll go this way, and we'll go pretty big. We're gonna go all the way. So yeah, we'll go about this big, do a nice big map, which that's actually something I've never done before. I've probably never done a map bigger than a 2x2. So I think that's actually how we'll get started here. And maps are something that I've always wished I did more of. It's just another one of those things on a list of many in Minecraft that I like the concept and the idea of, but I just don't think about often enough. But I really need to do better at that, because it is really fun watching maps update, and I should have a map room. But for now, we're just going with a big map on the floor here, and I was going to put it down a level in the ground here with some glass on top, and I was going with the maps zoomed out one level. But once I got this down, I decided I wanted to go with the fully zoomed in maps for one thing, just because I think it's going to fill the space a little better. So I went out and started working on them, and then I also raised the floor up. I like the idea of glass on top, but it just doesn't work here since the floor level is a half slab up, so I'll do that somewhere else. But yeah, I'm really glad I decided to go with the fully zoomed in maps, and I just got flying around and getting them all filled in. And filling maps is a process, and this actually took quite a bit more time than you might think, but well worth it in the end. I think this is awesome here. I end up just wanting the square map, so I put a border around it there, put a light in the middle so you can actually see things better. And I think this map is awesome. I just really like how centered the bay is, and that just works out perfectly. We got our little villager area here that looks awesome, and our spawn area up here. All the paths just look really cool. Got our tree farms here, and our jungle area, which looks the coolest. And I like that the island fits in perfect, and we'll have to fill that up. And I do plan on expanding out here, but I can always extend the map if I need to. But couldn't be happier with how everything just fits so centered in the 5x5 square here. But I decided to go ahead and keep making progress on the storage area by going around and just picking up all my random shulker boxes and random chests just from all my different work areas that I just filled up with random stuff, and just cleaned up the area a little bit. And I did go to my winter area because I knew I had a whole bunch of dirt and stone over here. I didn't take it all by any means, but I took a good amount of it, and yeah, just started organizing, filling these chests a little bit. And I'm not taking anything out of like my bases or any of my other storage areas. This is all just the random chests I had around. I'm still gonna leave the storage in all those areas as well, just to have things kind of spread around the world. But I thought going around and cleaning up, which I also forgot I had a bunch of deep slate in my elven cave from digging those out, so went and grabbed a bunch of that. And while I was over there, took anything useful out of my dwarven cave area. And yeah, for just being the random chests and not taking anything out of my original storages that I had set up already, I was feeling pretty decent about where we were looking. But wood was one area I was slacking on, and I didn't want to take any of the wood from my other storage areas, so I went and mended my axe up a little bit and spent a whole bunch of time chopping trees. Almost a day and a night for each tree, so this was quite the wood chopping session. Ended up with a about a row of the easy woods and just a few stacks of the acacia and the mangrove, but definitely got to start on some of our wood types here, and obviously the goal is to try to fill all the chests up with single types of wood, so that's a big project. But yeah, I got a decent amount of stone types here, and we can always use a shulker box if we end up filling the chest, so I don't need to necessarily have too many chests for each one. And obviously these ones will fill up as we go here. They're not too full yet, but definitely got a good little start on our storage area, and I'm really liking the map here. Just never had a big map like that. Really enjoying it. But now I was ready for some adventure. And something I've never done that I think would be kind of a fun project to slowly work on would be getting all the discs and all the armor trims. So I went around and took inventory of what I had at this point, which really wasn't too much. I had a few armor trims, I guess, but I got all kinds of discs and armor trims to collect, and by no means do I plan on doing that all right now, but just something to keep in mind as I'm going on an adventure here. And I also wanted to get my second sniffer, so went ahead and made a brush and figured I'd start things off by heading out towards the warm ocean, even though I already explored this area pretty well for the first sniffer, but I figured there was plenty more to explore, and I just know that a warm ocean's where you find it, so I might as well use it. And it took a little while before I found my first ocean ruin, and apparently I was so excited when I did that I just punched the first piece of suspicious sand that I saw. Not the best Minecraft playing there, but then I started using the brush and wasn't getting too lucky. Piece of coal, got a couple wooden pickaxes, and it was definitely far and few between when it came to the ocean ruins. Lots of time searching and wasn't having much luck. Then we found this guy over here, and our luck changed. Got ourselves our second sniffer, so now I can breed them and get a nice little sniffer farm set up. So I was real excited about that, and then I was just searching around, see if I can get lucky with anything else, and the very next suspicious sand that I saw, another sniffer egg. So I got 2 more eggs. And that's really nice, because now I'll just leave my original sniffer in the animal sanctuary, and we can use these 2 to get a little sniffer farm set up and be able to start using the torch flowers and the pitcher pods. And from there I got flying around trying to work my way towards a woodland mansion that I knew about, and stopped at a couple adventurous areas along the way, like this jungle temple here. And it actually had a pretty decent chest in here. That would be a nice little early game chest to find. And then I also came across our little pale oak area over here, which this is a really cool area that I could see myself wanting to come over here and do some building at some point. But for now, I just stopped by and chopped a good few stacks of pale oak wood here to put in my chests. And then I just kept going looking for my woodland mansion, and I honestly was lost. I got going in the wrong direction somehow without realizing it, and I ended up flying all over the place looking for this thing, but I ended up getting back on track eventually. And yeah, we had found this mansion a while back, and honestly, this is going to be, I think, only the 3rd woodland mansion I've ever really explored, and it's been a very long time. So I set my spawn and put on my diamond chest plate and created a shield, just get ready for battle here. And yeah, I'm excited for this little adventure here. So I headed on in and was greeted by an illager right away here. And yeah, my plan is to just go around and light up the whole mansion and open up all the rooms and just get rid of all the different illager types and make it a nice safe place to explore. And then I'll come back and get some of the resources out of here, because there is lots of resources throughout here. Unfortunately, I did lose a couple important clips, but yeah, we found a big library and definitely a few areas of some resources I'll come back and get. But yeah, lots lighting up. These places are a lot bigger than they even look like from the outside. And then when I was working my way up the 2nd level, which is where I knew it was going to get a little tougher, I started getting attacked by this guy, and this was an animation and sound that I was just not familiar with at all. And Apparently that's the new Vex. I don't know what's going on. Let me know if I'm wrong, but I remember the Vex being little guys that chased me around and were very hard, but this actually ended up being way easier than I was anticipating. And again, I said I lost a couple clips, which I did lose the clip of me finding armor trim, which was the main reason I came here. And I picked up a couple totems. But yeah, nice little adventure through here. Like I said, I'll come back and get some resources out of it later. But then my adventuring got put on hold for a second because my elytra was just about to break, so I had to take the long way home by boat and by foot, but it being a nice adventurous episode, it's good to travel that way a little bit. And yeah, the villagers have pretty much been my XP farm to this point. Anytime I need to mend my tools or my armor, I just go and trade a bunch of pumpkins, melons, and clay. Then I got back to my adventure here, and I'll be fully transparent. I did look up on Chunk Base for this because I didn't feel like looking all over the place for one of these, but I did want to explore one of these trail ruins here. It's actually another thing I've never done before. And in my research, I found that it's a place to find a few of the different armor trims, so that goes well with my plans for this episode here. So I just got digging. I had to dig quite a ways down to find where it continued here, but I did get to a level where more and more started getting exposed, and one of the first suspicious gravel I dug up was an armor trim I didn't have. So that was a nice find, but unfortunately, that's the only armor trim I found. And I did dig up quite a few suspicious sand. I did end up breaking a couple on accident, but I was just getting lots of junk out of the suspicious gravel. Sorry, not sand. But I did end up just digging up the ruin best I could, and it got to a point where I was digging out, trying to find where it continued on, and it just doesn't seem to continue other than this little area here, which I got quite a bit dug out, but I thought it was going to be a lot more than this. You can see I tried to branch off in all the different directions, and I went underground quite a ways, and it just doesn't appear to continue. But it was still useful. We did get a new armor trim and a shulker box full of general materials here, so all is not lost. And from there, after going back to spawn and getting organized, I made my way back out to my winter area because I had made a nether portal here before that I have since taken down, but I remembered that I had found a big bastion relatively nearby. So after dropping a few important tools off, just so I don't lose everything if I end up falling in the lava, I hopped in the nether and flew my way out to this humongous bastion. And again, I think this is only the third or fourth one of these I've ever explored, and I've never found the pig step disc or the netherite armor trim. So those are the main goals I'm looking for here. And again, I was pleasantly surprised with how easy this was. I know these guys are really tough, but when I'm up here in my safe spot, they're really easy to get rid of. So it was pretty much just target practice, and as long as you keep your distance, you can clear these guys out pretty easily, and just be careful and take your time. Then I made my way over to the other building here, the main building. And I was really careful creeping around the corners, but I really didn't have to be. I was actually being smart and playing with my headphones on, which I don't do sometimes, and just listening to make sure there were none nearby. And other than that, as long as I kept my distance and kept myself in a safe spot they couldn't get, they would just run out right in front of me and make it easy to take them down. After a good amount of target practice, I finally started going around and seeing what the chests had to offer here, and definitely some decent chests in these bastions. I remember thinking that before, so it's probably something I should really start doing earlier in the game when these chests are worth a lot more, and it's really not as dangerous as I've always made it out to be in my head. And yeah, I was filling the holes and filling lava pockets and stuff like that just to stay safe, and clearing out these chests, but no luck so far in these upper level chests at least. But we were getting some decent stuff. Filled the inventory and use my shulker box to clear things out a bit. And after just a little more clearing things out to get down to the bottom level here, I was really scared of the magma blocks, so I made this area as safe as I could, clearing the lava, and then just put some blocks around to make sure that none of the big magma cubes could get through while I'm clearing out the chest here. And this chest had one of the things I came for, netherite armor trim upgrade. I was really happy to get this. I've never gotten this before, so I've never had netherite in a world since you had to have one of these. So we'll have to do that. Got to get a bunch of netherite. And also all this gold. That's quite a bit of gold. I'm sure that'll come in handy in the future. And the magma spawner here, I'll need to come back sometime and make this a frog light area. I've never had frog lights, so that's another thing I need to do that I've never used. Unfortunately, no pig step though, or the other armor trims, but that's alright. I still considered this a success. And from there, we just continued our adventure and made our way out to the original giant cave that we found here at the start of Season 2, which has a giant ancient city underneath. And I'm going about this quite different than most of you probably would. Get my little base of operations set up, set my spawn, and I'm just putting away all my valuable tools and armor and just getting into nothing but iron gear, figuring that I'm probably going to die a certain amount. And I know there's a lot more graceful ways to go about this. A lot of people would have wool and all that, but I prefer to just get my trail of torches that I can follow out there. You can see I've already been here a little bit earlier in the season, but I didn't go very far, so we're just going to continue from where we left off. And yeah, just get my line of torches so that I can summon the warden here, which I get a few freebies before he comes out, but I'm essentially trying to just get rid of all the shriekers. I would like to eventually get rid of all the shriekers down here and just have a nice, safe, ancient city and do something with it maybe. But yeah, started finding a couple areas that looked like I might have some chests and made my way up. And before I get digging out of the chests, I made sure it was safe, and this time the warden came out. And I'm not gonna show you all the times this happens, but the warden comes out and I just would run, follow my torches all the way back to safety. And honestly, just exploring the deep dark like this really makes for horrible videos, so I'm going to be kind of short and sweet about it. But you can figure that I made that runaway probably 20 times during this whole situation here. Just, I'd run out and get rid of a couple shriekers, and then he would come up and I'd have to run back. And yeah, but we did start getting a few chests, slowly but surely, and just getting rid of quite a few of the shriekers. The first few chests weren't anything special. Then on this one, we found the other side disc, which is always a nice find. I think I've found that before, but not in this world. And then when I summoned the warden this time, I was running away, and somehow this torch off to the side got me off track. So I got disoriented and ended up right in the middle of the ancient city here. And I was honestly scared for a second. I was doing so good I hadn't died yet. And now I'm kind of in the middle of everything without my escape route planned out. But I did see these two tall towers, which always have a chest in them, so I knew that was a good find, and I couldn't help myself and made my way up. And I got extremely lucky here. And we got the silence armor trim, which my hopes weren't very high of finding, but definitely a very nice bonus, as well as a perfect hoe here. So this was the best chest by far. But the main reason I was down here is because I wanted to find Swift Sneak. So I kept at it, opening quite a few chests and summoning quite a few wardens, and really made some progress though on getting rid of a lot of the shriekers down here. But it is a big ancient city. And we did finally find Swift Sneak 1. And we found it in a couple chests in a row here, so I figured I at least had Swift Sneak 2 at this point. And then there was this chest, surrounded by shriekers. I got rid of them and ran away from the warden and came back and My wishes were granted. Swift Sneak 3. So this ended up being a very successful trip down here, and yeah, we made a lot of progress getting the Shriekers taken away, but I'll come down and put some more work into that. But for now, I just gathered all my stuff back and made my way back to spawn area just to get organized, and I wanted to get that Swift Sneak put on my pants, but I wasn't quite at the right level, so I did a little bit of trading, as well as upgraded my tools and mended them up at that point. But yeah, got the Swift Sneak on my pants here, and I should have done this a long time ago. That really makes a significant difference there on how fast you move when you're sneaking there, so that's gonna be nice. But then I wanted to do one last little resource gathering session. I got this new storage area. It's just got me inspired to try to fill those chests up a bit. And this is stuff that I usually keep off the episodes, but I'm kind of having this episode be one kind of behind the scenes. So yeah, we chopped a good amount of spruce trees down here, and I am remembering to replant them. Those who watch my streams know I forget sometimes. I also chopped a few mangrove trees here that were spilling over into the acacia area, so I didn't like the leaf color. And while I was at it, I started chopping trees around the general area because we are going to need to get a pale oak forest over here, so did a bunch of tree clearing there. And then I went down to my mine and got a little bit of granite and diorite and andesite. I really want to build up my stock of those. And then I took a flight out to the mesa here and tried to just get a bunch of regular terracotta, just because I find that I like to be able to dye it, and I never have enough regular terracotta. So I got a little bit of red, but the majority regular. And the last thing I wanted to do was figure out a place for my sniffers so that I can have them producing pitcher pods and torch flowers. So I figured I would go ahead and just have that be in addition to my underwater area. And I'm not worrying about the details or anything, but just getting the area dug out here and the hopper mine cart underneath to pick up all the flowers as they dig them up out of the dirt. Simple system here, and it'll be fun to come decorate this area and do something cool with it in the future. But for now, we'll get the eggs down, and by next episode they'll be hatched, and in theory should be digging up flowers, and the cart will pick them up and drop them off in the chest. And you can see it'll be a cool addition to our underwater area here once we get it built up right under the little beach area we got going in the lighthouse here. Extend the water area from over there back this direction, and I'm just really looking forward to this area. I don't know if that'll be next episode, but definitely within the next couple episodes I'm going to really work on the water area here. And yeah, really made some progress on our chests, I think. Got a decent amount of terracotta here. That's on top of all the stuff I already had, so yeah, it's just going to be nice having this nice central storage area with a good amount of materials here. And like I said, even just having this built up has me inspired to try to fill some chests. So I'll probably do a little more off camera before I really get committed to the next episode, but I'm feeling like we got a decent start here. And yeah, just overall, the storage area is definitely becoming my main area to come and just work at. And again, I just really like the map here. So yeah, with that, I really appreciate you all hanging here. Sorry it took a while between episodes. I'll be honest, I've just been going really hard for the last couple months, so I just needed to go a little slower. But I'm feeling the inspiration come back, so I'm looking forward to next episode. So yeah, thank you all for coming, and have a good day.